So the city of Portland is a beautiful place to live and to love and to raise families. But this number is not the number of lobster rolls devoured at a Sauschuck family reunion. It's not the number of donuts crushed during a Portland Police Department command staff meeting led by yours truly. Now, in fact, 46 is the number of fatal overdoses we had in our community in 2015. 46 moms, dads, sons, and daughters. 46 vibrant and dynamic personalities. 46 families that will be forever torn apart. These are 46 people that were my responsibility. These are 46 people that were our responsibility. These are 46 people that are gone, but they're not forgotten. Now, as a police chief in 2016, I can tell you I got numbers all day, right? I'll throw them out at you. I'll tell you we had 14 overdoses in a 24-hour period back in July of last year. 2 of those were fatalities. Kind of got this whole thing rolling for us, made it a reality. We had 10 bank robberies in our community last year, most of them involving firearms. All of them had a substance use nexus of one sort or another. The last 11 homicides that we had in our community, 3 of them were domestic violence oriented. 7 of them were firearms related. I talk about domestic violence. We talk about guns all the time. We have to. We have to make our communities safe. We have to make our citizens safe. Did you know that in every one of those scenarios, in all 11 homicides, we had a substance use nexus? Every single situation involving a homicide, all of them had a substance use nexus. Now, you nice folks came in here. There's been incredible presentations all day. You didn't come in here to pull out patterns and trends and figure out what's going on. But as the designated Sherlock Holmes of the group, I can tell you, I think I've got a clue. And that clue says it's 100% substance use related. That's 14 overdoses in 24 hours. That's 10 bank robberies. That's 11 homicides. That's 46 fatals, 46 of our people that are gone. That should be a clue for all of us. Now, the unfortunate reality, I'll tell you, that back in the day when I was an agent with Maine Drug Enforcement or running a drug task force for Cumberland County, I didn't see that clue. I didn't see that pattern. It was right there in front of me, and I didn't see it. And the reason I didn't see it is because I was caught up with the thrill of the chase. I was honored to be a warrior in the war on drugs. And much like the entire profession of law enforcement, I thought I was doing the right thing. I was wrong. I was wrong because I thought we could honestly arrest our way out of the problem. I was wrong because I saw a personal choice instead of a life-threatening brain disease. I was wrong because I'll be the first to tell you that arrests will always be a part of the equation when predators are bringing dope in our community and killing an entire generation. That's always going to be in there. But we have to own the fact that the war on drugs was a miserable failure. I was also wrong because I saw numbers and not names. I saw 14 and 24. I saw 10. I saw 11. And of course, I saw 46. Now, I get it now. You don't know me, but I'm giving myself a pass. I know why I was wrong. I know why a lot of street cops are wrong. Because our world revolves around the torment of our victims. And let there be no mistake, they are our victims. When it's 2 a.m. and you're in some mom's living room and she's telling you about how her kids' Christmas gifts were stolen out of the car, you don't care why the suspects did what they did. You want justice. When you're investigating a child abuse case or a neglect case, the parents are all messed up on whatever. Alcohol, pills, coke, crack, spice, bath salts, methamphetamines, or heroin. You don't want to hear that it's a brain disease. You want accountability. When senseless acts of violence tear our community apart, when senseless acts of violence terrify our neighborhoods, you want it to stop. Now, the unfortunate reality about stopping crime in 2016 is that we arrest everybody. And that is an incredibly short-sighted and lazy approach to problem solving. The criminal justice system as it's currently made up epitomizes the definition of crazy, right? We do the same thing over and over and over and over again, and we expect the outcomes to change. So how do we break that cycle? How do we make those changes? Well, for me, that personal transformation started when I could step back out of that living room at 2 a.m. I could start looking at the criminal justice system as a whole and start looking at crime in the city of Portland in particular from more of that 30,000-foot view. Trying to dig into that a little bit. And that allowed me the opportunity to work with some incredibly strong-willed and people of character in the recovery community, in that recovery world. People like Andrew and Steve and Bob and Matt and thousands others, they don't survive the journey to recovery. They thrive along that journey to recovery. And you know what? They take a bunch of people with them, and they're doing it every single day. They're saving lives. And they taught me a great deal. They taught me that recovery can happen. They taught me that with hard work, determination, and a supportive world, we can and we must beat substance use disorders into remission, just like any other disease. We must do that, and we can do that. They also taught me that I need to focus on the names rather than the numbers. Now, one of those names, one of those personal stories is that of Devin Higgins. Now, Devin was a hard-working, passionate guy, really worked hard to get his GED, ultimately wanted to own his own masonry business with a friend of his. He was fiercely, fiercely loyal to his grandfather, Kenneth Morse, considered him to be a best friend. He was an inspiration to his loving sister, Jamie Higgins, really inspired her to research what is now Operation Hope in Scarborough, inspired Chief Moulton, John Gill, and others to really look into that program. He was a giver that wanted to use his experiences to help others along the way. He was an angel that volunteered with Operation Hope and actually placed their 150th person into recovery. He was strong-willed. He was seen on September 25th of 2016 in Deering Oaks Park, healthy and happy. He was showing a newcomer to the world kind of the ropes and introducing him to people. Again, paving that way for this newcomer. Devin Higgins became the 35th fatal overdose of 2016 when he was found dead, alone, in his apartment on September 27th with a needle laying next to his body. Deering Oaks, 2 days later, Devin's gone. And I'll tell you, I get it. We live in an incredibly complex world. And it makes it very, very difficult to look at these issues. But there are times we just need to stop the madness and boil these complex issues down into something you can grab a hold of, to relatively simple questions and answers. Things like, are you part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Are you going to stand by and allow this epidemic to stall in the interest phase where everybody wants to talk about it? Or are you going to demand that we move into the investment stage when everybody wants to do something about it? Are we going to look at Devin Higgins as a number on some stat sheet, slide number 5? Or are you going to look at him as a human being with hopes and dreams that we lost along the way? Now, Devin's sister, Jamie, said it best in a Press Herald story. I think shame kept him from asking for help. But there is no shame in this disease. It's everywhere. And for people to say they don't want to pay for rehabilitation programs, we're already paying for it. And we're going to keep losing people if nothing changes. Now, I'll say that we're making some progress. You look at Operation Hope, they've placed more than 200 people into recovery. It's an incredible program, saving lives. Portland Police Department's own LEAP program, law enforcement addiction advocacy program. Boots on the ground, people out saving lives. And that's great. But you only need to look at those two programs as a society to realize that they're being led by public safety professionals, to realize that we still don't get it. This is a public health crisis that's wiping out an entire generation. And until we put the time, energy, and resources into this, we are going to continue to fail. And we are going to continue to lose our neighbors and lose our family members. I'm going to close by saying that I'm willing to take a personal challenge, take a professional challenge. I'm willing to declare a new war. And that war is on addiction, that terrible disease, rather than a war on the addicts that suffer from it. But you can hold up because I'm going to challenge you as well. You're not getting a free pass here tonight. I'm going to say, are you part of the solution? Or are you part of the problem? When you see 35, is that just a number on a sheet that you're going to forget as soon as you go home? Or do you see Devin Higgins and 34 others that are gone but not forgotten? Are you interested in what we're talking about? Or are you invested in long-term change? I guess that remains to be seen. Thank you.